the tool, right, I actually my first instinct and muscle memory, right, always go to yeah.
Yes. That's because we are quite known for being the best, one of the best property X value tool out there. So it is the gold standard in automated valuation models, offering 98% accuracy to your home valuation.
Yes, very accurate.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as mentioned, we are marketplace. So this is how our listings look like. You can go there to look for HDBs, private properties, or even rentals. We are also known in our industry to have the best in class tools. So like Kai has just mentioned, he uses our X value. That's one of the tools that is being offered to agents and also to consumers like yourself, right? So if all these transaction data tools and analyzer, is meant for the experts.
Correct.
Yeah, the professionals to use it. So if you don't have access to it, no worries. You just have to, get hold of a property agent and they'll be able to access these tools to give you the best data that you need. So if you don't know what to do about your current property journey, you need help in selling your flat, you don't know if you want to upgrade to a bigger place or a smaller place, just book a free consultation with us. No obligation at all. This is really just very similar to this webinar. We just want to help you and assist you along the way. So you can scan this QR code and set up a free consultation with us. Okay, so if you are interested in using the Property X Value just to find out how much your house is worth right now, I think that you can scan. It takes just under a minute. So to illustrate this, all you need to do is key in your postal code and your unit number, and you'll be able to see the estimated value of your home. And on top of that, we also provide an estimated rental value of your home.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Very helpful.
So in the case that you are on the fence about selling or maybe you want to rent it out, you can look at both values. So yeah, do really scan it and just find out how much your home is worth so you know what to do next, right? Okay, so if you have any questions, as mentioned, you can drop them in the Zoom Q&A box. But if you are not sure what questions you want to ask first, you may just scan this QR code. And if you have any questions after the webinar, you can still drop them in this link. Okay, so I'll just give you a second to scan the QR code. All right, so today's agenda, we'll be talking about rethinking home ownership in retirement. So if you are in this bracket, right, age bracket, what does a home mean to you? I think this is something that we will cover very lightly. And the right sizing decision, when, why, and how you should right size. Unlocking your home's value. You want to sell, you want to rent, you want to monetize, right, in general. So which is the better way for you? And then you want to find your next home. What are some of the practical paths that retirees should take, right? Should you go into a 3-room, a 2-room flexi, or even the community care centers? Yeah, is it community care center?
Community care apartments.
Yeah, apartments, sorry, not centers. I think I mixed up community centers. And also financial planning, government support schemes, and from planning to moving, what is the roadmap for your right sizing? Okay, so let's talk about rethinking home ownership in retirement, right? So it isn't just about selling your home. You want to design your ideal retirement lifestyle first. What are you looking for in retirement, right? Usually it's like freedom.
I think when it comes to
Yeah.
retirement, a lot of people actually they feel it's a very topic and a life stage that is a bit far-fetched because they don't think so far yet. It may be in another 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
But for some, it may be in another 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Then that's when they start to rush, get a bit kanchiong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then they don't know what's the next step. Whether should I keep my home? How much should I sell my home at? Or probably thinking of renting it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are actually very different approaches to retirement using a property. But I think beyond that is actually overcoming the emotional aspect also.
Yeah.
Because we understand that actually your house is a home, not just an asset.
Yes.
So this is where your kids grow up. You have been staying here 20, 30 plus years. Yeah. So really.
You feel like it's the home that your family can come back to, right? To visit you.
Yeah. And for a lot of Singaporeans, I think for them they always have this idea of a forever home.
Yes.
That means I started my family here. My kids grew up here. I want them to come back, even though they have a house elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I want my grandkids to come back to play with me in this home.
Yeah.
It's a nest.
Yes,
it's a nest. It's actually.
It is. And it holds a lot of memories.
Memories.
there's a lot of emotions and that would tie you, into your home.
Correct.
Yeah. So you need to think about what's important to you. We're not saying that you have to sell it, right? But in order to, I mean, we are approaching being a super aged society, right?
Yes.
So you're going to live way longer than you think, probably.
Yeah.
So you need to think about financially, what's better for you. Because at some point we all want to stop working.
Yes.
Okay, so how evolving needs influence your housing choices, right? There's mobility. You need to think about all these things as you age, yeah? Like when there are stairs, long walks to amenities. It may be tougher as you have probably like some, medical conditions that you start getting. I mean, this is a realistic problem, right? And also lift access, all these things matter. Maintenance, right? Bigger, older homes also mean higher repair and utility costs. So you want to think about upkeeping. Is the current place that you're staying easy to upkeep? Yeah.
Especially for private properties also. Yeah, because sometimes the maintenance fees actually increase throughout the years because due to cost of
aging.
Yeah, construction,
wear
wear and tear, everything. So I think beyond all this, I think
Yeah.
micro factors actually plays a part also.
Yeah. I mean, we'll be covering some case studies later regarding, actual cases that Kai has worked with.
Yes.
Yeah, and also accessibility, right? Because doorways are narrow and, you have to also, if you do have pre-existing medical conditions or whatever that is that you might have right now, you also want to think about, is the surrounding in your house optimal for you to live in as you age, right? Yeah, so think about your safety and your comfort. So as mentioned, Singapore is approaching a super aging society. So 1 in 4 Singaporeans will be aged 65 years old and above.
It's actually almost double the current statistic because currently it's about 13.1.
Yes.
So in
just like 4 to 5 years, I mean, we're approaching 2026 now.
Yes.
So yeah, I think this is definitely something to think about, what is society going to become like? And you start planning for either your parents, your grandparents, or even for yourself, if you're nearing this age bracket, right? So yeah, so as mentioned, your housing needs is not static. So the home that worked for you last time might not work for you now. So that's something that you need to think about the most. Okay, so this is just a fun fact. So this is from the Department of Statistics. So as mentioned, those age 65 and above, in 2015 it was quite low, and now we're in 2025 and it's about 20%, and going to 2030 we're going to really see a rise. Yeah, so over here between age 20 to 64, of course, is the biggest bracket of all the adults. Yep, so this green will just increase as we move into a super aging society. Okay, so you have to shift your mindset as we all move along in life, right? So like when you were kids and then you were a teenager and you were a young adult, if you realize your needs have really evolved.
Yes.
And it's the same when you become an even older adult, right? It's just adult. You are still an adult. You're an adult for most of your lives.
Yes.
But you don't change the term.
Yeah, but I think it's about being in different seasons of your life also, about different phases. Because maybe when you are in like our age group, we are thinking about upgrading, going for higher class assets. Living more lavishly. Yeah, but beyond that, I think when it comes to retirement, probably maybe time to slower the pace a bit and then think about future proofing and also retiring with dignity. Yeah, I think that's very important also.
That's a very good point. Yes. So definitely a lot of emotional ties to your home. So, if you let go of the place you grew up in, it doesn't mean that you are losing memories. Yeah. And also a right size home also mean, you manage your cost better and you have higher liquidity, right? I think that's the whole point of retiring.
Correct.
You get to enjoy the fruits of your labor all through the past years, right? Yeah. So yeah, you also want more manageable space as we mentioned. So the right sizing decision, is it time? We always call it the empty nest when, all your children have moved out and you suddenly you and your spouse are the only ones in this
Feel so empty.
5-room
Yeah,
flat.
cannot get used to the momental silence sometimes.
Correct,
Yeah, I think
correct.
that's what a lot of like the elderly couples that actually feedback to me like, oh, my kids they gotten their 4-room BTO already and then now they've moved out. So it's just me and my wife. Then I think like, oh, okay, but then but because they still feel emotional attachment to the place. But you know, when they are older and the house is still so big, a lot of things to tidy.
Yes, yes. The cleaning still remains.
And they no longer have their helper because their kids have all grown up already.
That's
So
right.
it's their turn to really go in to maintain the whole space. It gets very tiring.
Yeah, that's true. So, you know, definitely like we mentioned, rising maintenance, right? Accessibility needs that you also need to think about, and the liquidity. So the goal here is you want to make the move by choice, not by circumstance, so that you know, have the higher leverage, you know, of doing something by choice, not
So
by
actually,
choice.
you're in control of your own
Yeah,
retirement.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so you want to balance emotional attachment with practical realities, right? Because yes, this is our family home. I'll miss my neighbors, my community. This one of the big factors, right? You're so familiar with everybody around you, so you don't want to lose that. Yeah, but there are also, you can still stay within the estate and maybe downsize. Right?
Actually, I can relate a lot with this because I used to stay at Jurong East like all my life. Then recently, only last year we shifted to Clementi. Okay, so Jurong East and Clementi is not too far apart, just one MRT stop away. But then the whole estate feels vastly different because when I go down to take the bus, I no longer see familiar faces. Then when I go to my favorite coffee shop or hawker centers, the food is different, the environment is different. But I think all these are valid points, memories that you keep close to your heart. But then I think another perspective to think about is if I move to a new estate, it's a new beginning. And this is where I can create more memories on top of what I already have.
Yeah, that's true. You know, it's a new adventure after all, right? And you might think that, hey, I'm really 60, but actually you might have 20 to 30 more years to
It's not the end. It's actually
the end.
A rebirth.
Yes.
Yeah, in a way.
It's a good way of looking at it.
Correct.
Yeah. So then you think about your practical reality, right? Your retirement fund is trapped, you know, somewhat trapped, right, in bricks, which is your home, you know, so the upkeep is still a financial and physical drain, right? So after all, if you were to release those funds, if you downsize, you know, you could actually enjoy life a bit more.
Better quality of life. Yeah.
Don't have to worry
so better memories, in fact, actually, right?
Yeah, create new better memories on holidays.
Even better.
So evaluating timing, okay, you need to think about lease decay. So if you're living in a HDB flat that is pretty old, you know, you got it in the 1980s or 1990s, so you do have to think about the lease, right? So if you wait too long, you know, it means that your home might be losing its value. Of course, a lot of other factors to come into play, like location, amenities, and so on and so forth. Then you also need to think about the resale performance in the market, right? Is the market right now good, right? For resale, you also want to check, you know, the HDB price index if you know how, but you don't have to also just, you know, engage somebody that is an expert in the field. You know, they'll be able to advise you whether you should sell it now or not, right? So, of course, if you sell in a strong market, it maximizes your proceeds. So that is the ultimate outcome that you want to. Then you also need to think about, hey, you know, what kind of, as a Singaporean citizen or even a PR, right? What kind of grants or support schemes does the government have for you? I think that is something that is your right, you know what I mean? You pay taxes and everything, so you have to enjoy these rights.
Government cares.
The government cares for you too, right? So so all these little things can help you make your ultimate outcome more profitable for you also. Okay, so speaking of government schemes that help you, right? There's this thing called the Silver Housing Bonus. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about this. Okay, so it was launched in 2013, more than 10 years ago. It's to help seniors aged 55 and above to give them a cash bonus when you downsize. So they are actually helping, or they are encouraging seniors to right size, you know, because it's essential for them to, you know, retire comfortably. And they also want to, they want seniors to be in an environment where it's more suitable for them. Yeah, so I think this is the goal. And from December 2025, in fact, there is an additional $10,000 cash bonus if you right size to a 2-room or smaller flats. And this includes 2-room or community care apartments, which is called CCA for short. Yeah, so this eligibility is also now expanded to private properties with annual values of less than or equal to $31,000. So if you want to check your current annual value, you can do so at the IRAS website. So all you need to do is log in for your SingPass and you'll be able to see your annual value. Okay, so all in all, right, with this additional 10,000 cash bonus, the maximum bonus for silver housing increases to up to 40,000 max.
Correct.
Yeah, so it's actually quite a significant amount. Yeah, so of course you need to check your eligibility and all that lah. Just to give you a better illustration over here, okay? So if you are a senior couple that's right-sizing to a 3-room flat, okay, so in this scenario, Mr. and Mrs. Tan are selling their 5-room flat in Yishun for $705,000, and then they're buying a 3-room flat in Woodlands for $275,000. There is a huge difference.
Yeah.
Okay, so previously, they had to top up $60,000 in cash to their CPF retirement account, also known as RA for short, to qualify for the full 30,000 silver housing bonus. So from 1st December of this year, 2025, they can still commit the same $60,000 from their CPF housing refunds. So what is CPF housing refunds? Means after you sell your HDB flat or your flat, some of your proceeds will go back to your CPF first, right? To top up whatever amounts that you've used before, including accrued interest. So it goes into the CPF housing refunds. So you can take it from there.
It's actually fantastic.
Yeah.
Because some homeowners, when they choose to right size, right, then they'll feel like want to hoard all the cash proceeds as much as possible. Yeah, to use it for retirement. But actually, if you think about it, this updated policy, right, allows them to actually use the CPF that's already embedded inside their current unit.
Yeah.
So it's just a transfer.
Yeah, it's just a transfer.
But you still get
you receive the full $30,000 of silver housing bonus without any cash top up.
So you still hoard your cash and you still get extra cash. Wow, win-win.
Yeah, so the government's really helping seniors, to right size. It's a really good scheme actually, because you get like half the amount.
I think it's very
50% of the
thoughtful on the
It definitely is.
government agencies to actually do this.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you see from the table on the left, the proceeds from right sizing, if you see they sell the flat for $705,000, they clear their outstanding loan, which is about maybe 100K. This is just an example. So then they purchase a 3-room flat for $275,000, and then they pay their resale levy that's required. Ultimately, their net proceed is about $285,000, which is quite significant.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is the SHB Silver Housing Bonus breakdown. Yeah. So if you can see over here, okay. So let's look at 1st December 2025. Okay, it's very soon. So Mr. Tan and Mrs. Tan are in 2 separate columns. Okay, so they top up their RA with 60K. So 40K from Mr. Tan and 20K from Mrs. Tan. Okay, so what happens here is that no cash top up needed, and they receive a bonus because Mr. Tan top up more, right? 20K, and Mrs. Tan top up like half of the amount, so she gets 10K.
Yep. So this is for the standard right sizing to a 3-room flat. But then that's what it'll be prorated. So it's about the ratio is 2:1, capped at 60K.
Yeah.
Capped at 60K, and the payout, which is 2:1, then is capped at 30,000.
Yeah.
But then moving on, right, for if you are down right sizing to a even smaller one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as we mentioned, right, over here, that if you right size to a 2-room or smaller flat, you get an additional 10K.
Regardless of the amount that
regardless of the amount that you top up into your CPF RA.
So technically.
So if you can
I
mean, if you top up $10, maybe you get $10,000. But of course, you can go and we've not tried it, right? Because it's from 1st December.
Correct.
So go and try.
Yeah.
If you are downsizing to a 2-room.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So example 2 over here for the silver housing bonus. So Mr. and Mrs. Bala selling their subsidized 5-room flat in Yishun for $705,000 as well, and then buying a 2-room flexi flat. Okay, this is to illustrate what happens if you downsize to a 2-room flexi flat. Okay, so same scenario, they top up 60K to their CPF housing. From their CPF housing refunds to their retirement account in CPF, and then they receive a higher 40K because they downsized to a smaller flat, which is the 2-room, as opposed to the example 1 where they downsized to a 3-room, where they are not eligible for the additional 10K top up. Yeah. So I mean, it depends on you. Don't because of 10K.
Yeah. Because honestly speaking, on the ground, when I see the 2-room flat, right, and the 3-room flat, the size gets a bit of adjusting. You have to be prepared because maybe for Okay, very common problem, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I dealt with one case recently.
Yes.
Was that it was this elderly Chinese couple.
Yeah.
They were staying at a 5-room flat.
Yeah.
So they want to right size to a 2-room flat. But 2-room flat got one problem. It's not the space is okay, but there's no proper orientation, right, to put the prayer altar.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Because there is the orientation constraint, right, because they need to place it
Against a wall.
against a solid wall. Yeah, they're not just partition or yeah. So these are all factors to consider also. Yeah.
Go and view first
Yeah, view first.
and see if you are okay
But
lah.
if you're okay with the size and you know maybe don't have all these factors to consider, then probably this is a quite a good option to
It's a good option.
consider.
Maybe if you just look at, you know, the table here, right? If they sell their flats, they clear their loan and everything, their net proceeds is 500K.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we're using the same example where they sold their 5-room for 605K, right? Same as example 1. But if we go back to example 1, they only cash proceeds is about 285K.
Right.
I mean, that's also because they purchase a 2-room, which is much cheaper lah.
And also resale levy is lesser also.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, so these are little things that you need to think about. How much cash proceeds do you actually want? Then you can plan, you know, your next move. Okay. So okay, same here, the breakdown. So if you can see, Mr. Bala, he committed about 40K. Yeah, housing refund about 40K, and Mrs. Bala is 30K, right, from the sale of the 5-room flat. And then they don't need to top up cash. They are able to put in 30K each, total 60K into their CPF RA. So what happened here is that they do get a cash bonus. In total, they get about 40K. Yeah, so this is how it illustrates the cash silver housing bonus. Okay, so example 3 here, okay? This is the last one. Mr. Ahmad and Madam Siti are selling their private property with an annual value. So this is a private property example. So their private property has an annual value of 25K located in Yishun. So they sold it for $970,000, just shy of $1 million. And then they're buying a 2-room flexi flat. Yeah. So which is on a 30-year lease, very short lease left.
Correct.
But maybe they're really old. Yeah. So they bought it for 83K. So before the enhancements, they would not be eligible for the SHB as the AV, the annual value of their property, has exceeded 21K. But congratulations, from this year, 1st December 2025, they will qualify for the silver housing bonus if they commit a combined amount of 60K from their CPF housing refunds towards their CPF RA. So why? This is because it's just a new scheme that the government is also, you know, extending. They also understand that there are a lot of seniors who live in private properties, right? And with the annual value, they also increased it. Yeah, so now they will enjoy a SHB of 20K with no cash top up. Yeah, so let's look at the table over here on the left. They sold it, no outstanding loan, and then they bought a 2-room flat for $83,000. Ultimately, their cash proceeds is $872,000. So you must be willing also to to move into a smaller flat and from private to public also lah. Yeah, so quite a lot.
Yeah, it's actually a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah, so over here, same thing. Let's look at the breakdown, right? The housing CPF that's refunded into their accounts and into their CPF RA eventually. So no cash top up needed because it meets the 60K requirement. And then the cash bonus would be in total 20K over here. Okay, so yeah. So if you need assistance with this, just consult, one of a good agent that you know. You can also come to us for us to find a good agent for you. So yeah, that would work. Okay, so ultimately, what we've all been talking about is about unlocking the home's value, right? Yeah. So where are you living now? It matters. Sometimes proximity to amenities such as MRT, good schools, food, and all that is very important. That also I feel that this is one of the biggest factor that determines your value of. Then the floor level and facing, but floor level not so much really, I feel.
I think facing quite important.
Facing is important.
Facing is important because some of the facing probably facing rubbish chute.
Yeah.
Facing the expressway. Then maybe some internal facing units are maybe too close to the neighbors, can feel a bit congested and lack of privacy.
Yeah, that's right.
All these micro factors actually affect the valuation of your unit also, but also primarily is based on the transaction volume in the cluster itself as well.
That's right. So of course, if you maintain your house really well, then you know the value of your flat is also there. Then of course have to consider the remaining lease. I think this is the number one thing also.
Yeah, I think remaining lease is a thing because okay, a lot of agents tend to throw this term, this jargon, right? I think to the layman they don't understand what is lease decay. But it's a term that we agents normally use when it comes to explaining why a homeowner should sell their flat. Yeah, but I think to put it in very layman terms is because as your house gets older, you got to think of who is going to buy your next house, but who's your target audience or your next buyer. Because as your house ages, right, the eligible pool of buyers actually shrink with each year.
That's true.
It's actually due to the loan to value ratio. That means another jargon, but to put it simply, is that the next homeowner, their combined age, their combined average age, right, needs to be able to meet them until the age of 95. That means their combined average age plus the remaining lease of your unit has to be 95. That is to sort of like future proof also. So they have a place to stay until they are 95. Yeah. So if this requirement fails, right, they won't be eligible for a full loan.
Okay.
Yeah, which is a lot of cash on their end also.
Yeah,
which
that's right.
yeah, ultimately not a lot of home first time buyers or like buyers in the market, they have so much liquid cash. That's
Yeah,
why.
that's right. Yeah. So of course, market condition, right? So demand supply, you know, if demand is bad, then of course it might take you longer to sell your house. Or you might need to lower your price.
Yeah, correct.
Things like that. Okay. So we'll get into that, you know, about the market conditions. So talking about lease decay, you know, just to give you an idea of how lease decay looks, right? So usually if you own a HDB, for example, or even a 99-year condo, your value is about 96% over here at the start of the lease. Let's look at like $1 million, assuming it's $1 million. So as the lease, theoretically speaking, as the lease decays, over here at the 60-year mark, your home should be valued about 800K, and then after the 30-year mark, at the 30-year mark, it will be about 600K. But this is theory, right? Theoretically, it should happen this way. But of course, we are very fortunate to be in a property market that, you know, is quite
sustainable. Yeah, it's well controlled.
It's doing quite well also.
Correct.
You know, where you see that, you know, even, you know, homes that are at the 60-year mark, they tend to appreciate. Yeah, but of course it determines on all the factors that we just talked about. Okay. Yeah, so let's look at the average HDB resale price and volume in the last 15 years, just so you understand how market conditions will look based on what's happening at the point in time.
Correct.
Okay, so over here, you know, we have back in 2010 onwards, right? The property HDB prices were, you know, going up a little bit more conservatively, and then suddenly there were cooling measures introduced in 2013, right? I think they tightened the LTV.
TDSR framework kicked in also.
Yes, correct. Yeah. So all this, I mean, the government did a number of things to control the market then, and then you can see that, oh wow, after the cooling measures, price has stagnated for a while. Of course, this is just across the island HDB average PSF, but it's just a good way to see overall how the market's performing. And then what happened over here in 2020 is the pandemic. Yeah. So since the pandemic, prices have escalated quite a bit, right? You can see this is quite a sharp. So, you know, a lot of people ask when is the right time to sell. I would say that just look at the chart, you know, and you'll be able to see, like, you know, when is the right time.
Correct. I think when it comes to selling a property, should not be based on speculation.
Yes.
Because a lot of homeowners, they tend to speculate that probably the price will be much higher because it's on the rise now. But the rising trend will not be forever. And we are only experiencing this sharp rise in price and property valuation is because due to the delay of building during COVID.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's where a lot of homeowners, they actually have no choice. Their HDB are being delayed. Then there are oversupply of buyers in the market.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where they actually turn to resale.
Yeah.
And that's where you get a lot of resale transactions, $1 million HDBs that all actually derive from this significant event that nobody in the world could have forecasted, which was COVID. Yeah, so I think I wouldn't say this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, but it's a very rare golden opportunity to actually how to
Seize
say,
lah,
yeah,
kind
to
of
seize,
seize,
yeah,
yeah.
if you are thinking or contemplating to sell your existing unit.
I mean, we've come about 3 years since the
Yeah, we're
pandemic.
still experiencing the
a
price.
bit, yeah.
But yeah, probably now with all the government trying to ramp up the BTO supply and also the shorter waiting times, we're experiencing probably a more controlled price environment, which is good for, you know,
Good for buyers.
yeah, good for buyers. Yeah.
I mean, there are more supply. More supply in the market means more options as well.
Correct.
Yeah, but it also means more competition in future.
Correct.
Yeah. So of course, with the ramp up in BTOs and all that, you know, and they also have the MOP period, right? So I think that we can still, at least for a foreseeable number of years, we can still enjoy this kind of like a high.
Yes.
Yeah. So these are some things to think about. So, you know, you just a quick look at like average HDB 2 rooms resale price. Yeah, over here, very similar to the first graph. Yeah, just that because it's a 2-room, it's smaller. So, you know, the prices are not very high. If you look at 3-room, which is also on the smaller side, also very similar. And if we look at the 4-room, which is the most common layout for HDB, right? So actually the increase is much starker, so about 49%.
I think if I'm not wrong, the 4-room actually outperformed the 5-room. Can we see? Does it?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
It outperformed the 5-room. Yeah. I mean, 4-rooms, I think because there are more units, there are 4-room.
Yeah.
So because of more transactions, yeah. So I think in terms of data, when you have more, it just has bigger jump. Okay, so let's look at condo as well, right? So over here, condo, I think overall in the past 15 years, you know, prices have definitely increased by quite a significant amount, 88%. So I would say that the graph is a little bit different.
Yes.
Yeah. So despite the cooling measures and stuff, even though there's a slight dip after that, you know, prices have continued to increase quite steadily, a bit slow but steady.
I think primarily Singaporeans want a better quality of life. And also some of them actually purchase it for investment. But HDB ultimately is still own stay.
Correct. You can't really purchase a HDB for investment.
To sleep? No.
No, yeah. So hence the difference, you know, in the prices in terms of appreciation.
Yes.
Okay. So same thing after the pandemic, you know, we also see a jump. Yeah. So over here, 2-bedroom condo. So if you are looking at investment, you know, this is also a good way to look at, you know, the projection. So there's not much difference actually in terms of the graph.
Correct.
Yeah, so pretty safe.
The trend is still uniform throughout the different property types.
So in terms of 3-room, more for own stay, 3-bedroom, I mean, more for own stay. Also not much difference. Yeah. But I would say that the increase is much bigger over the past 15 years, right? We're looking at 107% increase in price. And we take a look at 2-bedrooms also. Over here, the increase since the pandemic is about 35%, 35.83%. But for this 3-bedroom, since the pandemic is about 44.85%. So let's look at if you go bigger. Around there lah, not much difference, yeah? So if you go bigger, about 4-bedroom, not much difference from the 3-bedroom because I think 3-bedroom also is the most common unit layout in the condos. So hence, yeah. So then we go bigger, 5-bedroom lah.
Wow, actually
quite high.
Yeah, surprisingly, because 5-bedroom quite niche.
Quite niche.
Yeah, unless you have like multi-gen family.
Yeah, so this is a little bit surprising, I would say. Yeah, but of course the data will not lie. So yeah, interesting. Okay, so if you are, you know, sitting in your home right now wondering, hey, how much is this space that I'm in? You know, how much is it worth? So do take a second and scan. All you need to do is key in your postal code, your unit number, and you're set to go. Okay. So financial factors that you have to look out for. Okay, so I just want to remind everybody, if you have a question, do drop it in the Q&A box in Zoom instead of the chat section. So we will be able to answer all your questions later. So we hope that we can cover as many questions as we can. Okay, we have about 19 questions now. Okay, yeah, so this is something that you need to think about after you sell your home. What happens, right? So of course, you have the selling price. After you sell your house, you pay off your outstanding loan, right? Any remaining mortgage that you owe to HDB or the bank has to be settled here. And then you have to refund to your CPF account. And this is something that I think a lot of home sellers They miss out.
They miss out on this.
Why?
Because I think they always have this impression that every month when I use this part of my CPF to pay for my mortgage, right? That's the amount that is embedded inside my property.
Yeah.
But it's actually not, because for each dollar that you actually use it to pay your mortgage using your CPF, you're owing yourself the CPF that could have been in your CPF account, your OA, and earning that 2.5% interest, which is the whole government's idea of helping you to retire.
Yes.
Yeah. So upon selling your property, I think I urge everyone to actually do the proper calculation and to actually count it together with the 2.5% accrued interest that is compounded. It's not just 100,000 then 2.5%.
Yeah,
That's wrong.
Compounded.
Yeah, it's compounded yearly. Yeah, so it actually adds up to quite a substantial amount. If you're holding your property, let's say for like 10, maybe like 15 to 20 years, it adds up to about six figures.
Then it could eventually you could encounter a negative sale, right?
Correct. So a negative sale in a layman term is when actually the selling price of the unit, right, actually is lower than the CPF plus accrued interest and the outstanding loan. So you might think like, then who would be so stupid to like actually sell a house at such a cheap price? But I think certain factors comes into play when, sometimes maybe sudden lifestyle change. You need the cash fast. Or maybe can be due to ethnic quota restrictions in the cluster. That means you have a hard time selling due to, the ethnic integration policy. So I think sometimes no choice, you have to adjust your price by a bit.
Yes. And I also want to point out that I think this is more, it might affect upgraders a bit more, right? Because they expect to have the cash proceeds.
Definitely.
Yeah, but then if you are a retiree, it's actually not a bad thing if your cash proceeds goes back into your CPF plus the compounded accrued CPF accrued interest, right? So yeah, I think it's not a bad thing. It's still your money. Yeah. So of course, ultimately you pay off whatever fees that you need to pay off, whether it's agent fee or legal fees and stamp duties. So then ultimately you get your eventual cash proceeds. Yeah. So do the proper calculation first. So if you need help in this also, you can just come to us. Yeah. So just to give you an idea, right? CPF and cash flow 101, right? So we talked about this actually. So there's this thing called CPF Life for people who don't know. So it's actually it's a concept, it's an insurance policy.
It's more of like an annuity. That means everyone, including me and you, right, we are all inside CPF Life by default if you are Singaporean. Yeah, so that's where, your OA and SA comes to become your retirement account.
Yeah, correct. And then it will give you guaranteed monthly payouts for life. Yeah, so so it makes sure that your savings last through your retirement, no matter which age you live until.
Correct.
Yeah, so go and check it out if you haven't. So of course, accrued interest is something that we just talked about. So do ensure that you factor that in. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, key taxes to consider. Okay, just very fast. Resale levy, we've seen in the tables in the examples earlier. So resale levy is something that you also need to consider. It's not a big amount per se, but it's still substantial. Buyer stamp duty, if you were to buy your next home, you also need to pay buyer stamp duty. Okay, and then if you are looking to buy additional home, then of course you need to think about the ABSD lah. Yeah, and seller stamp duty, I think everybody should know. If you sell your house, you also need to pay stamp duties. Okay, so there was a change in stamp duties just this year in July. If you bought a house after 4th of July. Is it 4th of July? I think yes. There's a date. 4th of July, yes. After 4th of July, you are be subjected to a 4%, SSD lah, if you were to sell it within 4 years.
Correct.
Yeah. So you should wait up 4 years. Okay, so ABSD refund when right sizing. So from February 2024, single Singaporeans aged over 55 years old can claim an ABSD refund when you are right sizing to a lower value private property. So the government is not just taking care of those who are living in HDBs, but if you are living in a private property, there's also some perks for you lah. Yeah, so it's a major new benefit for single seniors. So if you're not single, you're a married couple, already this is in place, right? So currently married couples with an existing residential property can already enjoy an ABSD refund on their replacement private property. Yeah, it's under the ABSD concession for Singaporean married couples.
Much more inclusive,
Yeah,
actually.
so
Yeah,
it's very
better.
inclusive, yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, no worries if you are in private property as well, even if you right size to a smaller or lower value, actually, they call it lower value private property, you also get
Oh yeah, lower value. Smaller doesn't mean lower value.
yes, correct.
Oh.
Yeah.
That means if you have a 4-bedder at Pasir Ris and
Yeah.
you move to a 3-bedder at Orchard Road,
Yeah.
valuation difference. Yep.
Correct. That's right. Okay, so compare your options, right? Because I think that a lot of this might be on your mind. Should I sell and right size? Should I rent out the rooms? Should I use the lease buyback scheme, which is the
Right.
LBS? Okay, so very quickly, you know, what does it mean, right? So you sell very straightforward. You buy a smaller flat, so you maximize your liquidity, but of course you let go of the home that you built lah. So if you rent out rooms, of course, there's passive income. You still live in the home that you built, and you retain your assets, but you also need to think about being a landlord.
Yeah.
And I think this is easier said than done, right? Because you think about, hey, yeah, I have extra rooms there, I'm just going to rent it out. But I think the concept of living with strangers
The
might not
part
be.
of it is attractive when you think about the passive income you get the rental, right? Especially if you're living in HDB, there's not much maintenance fee to pay, but like different from private property.
Yeah.
But then actually when it comes to living with a stranger, most homeowners who have stayed in their house for a very long time, right, they find it very hard to adjust to. Yeah, because especially when they're old, I don't know, because this is a common feedback that I get.
Okay.
Yeah, that they, I don't want like strangers to replace my family members. Yeah, it's a thought that they have. Yeah, I mean the money probably is attractive on top of their CPF life pay already. Yeah, but take some time to adjust.
I would say it's more of a lifestyle adjustment.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So of course, if you don't mind, then great. Yeah. So anyway, there's also the lease buyback scheme, right? So you use the HDB's lease buyback scheme where you receive some cash proceeds while you're still living in your home. Right. So a significant portion of this though would go into your CPF retirement account.
Correct.
Yeah, to enhance your payouts. So it's you can't look at your home for like an inheritance for legacy or anything anymore, because you actually sell a portion of it back to the government, right? Yeah, so you are living on a fixed lease.
Correct.
Yeah. So there are some downsides to that also, but you can read more about that again. Yeah, so if you want to look for your next home as a retiree, some of the popular right sizing choices, you have the resale 2 to 3 bedders, you have the 2-room flexi for BTOs. So you can also opt for a shorter lease for BTO 2-room flexi, right? So it's very affordable. Yeah, so it also comes with senior-friendly fittings that you might want to, strongly think about. Then you have your community care apartments, known as CCA. So this is a new model that I think we just rolled out. We just saw the new, the freshly launched one.
Yeah,
right?
I saw it on the news. Actually, I was quite amazed with all the inbuilt facilities, right, and all the like amenities.
The sun or something, right?
I think so.
Yeah, it looks very nice actually. Yeah. So of course with modernity now, I think that
actually look like hotel room.
Yeah, I also think so.
Yeah, very nice.
Like a studio.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have a community as well with like-minded seniors, I would say.
Correct.
Yeah. So it's nice also, I would say. Yeah. But this you cannot be sold on the open market, so you need to think about that. Yeah. So if you live there, you just live there. Yeah. So really for older seniors, I would say more suitable.
More if they want to leverage on the healthcare needs.
Yes, the facilities over
support.
there.
Correct.
That's right. So of course you can choose to move to a compact condo as well. Yeah. So pardon the image, but yeah, I don't think our aged seniors actually look like that. But
They look better.
Yeah. Nowadays people look very young. Yeah, but anyway, accessibility is something that you need to think about. Also amenities and being active in your aging, right? So you also want to think about are there like active aging centers
Correct.
Nearby? I think this is very important because it fosters a sense of fun and community.
Social cohesion.
Yes. So you don't get bored.
When elderlies get older, right, then sometimes they tend to isolate themselves.
Yes, that's something that
which I think is not a very good thing, which is why I think the government actually rolls out a lot of all these community care centers, everything to integrate them back into society, to keep them active also.
Yeah. I mean, it might seem, very like, oh, I don't need that or something like that. But actually, it could
They
be
might think it's lame, but it's actually quite wholesome.
also,
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it. I think it's very, very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And somehow you can click with people of your age group, right? Yeah. Talk about the good old days, probably.
And there's so many activities offered.
Yeah.
Very affordable activities, I would say. Okay, so so HDB, they do have specific considerations. So of course, think about this, if you buy another flat, also with HDB, you have to meet the MOP, right? Then the lease balance as well. So need to make sure that, I mean, like I mentioned, we are approaching a super aged society. So even if you are 60 and then you buy a house that has 30 years lease left, you never know, you might live until 100.
Yeah, correct.
So just think about these things. Don't take such a high risk, even though the price might be very attractive. And then the silver housing bonus, of course, you need to, we've showed you the example. So yeah, just think about that as well. The 2-room flexi scheme and also owning 2 HDBs is not allowed. Okay, so people think that, I can just rent out one and then I buy a smaller one. No, you can't do that. Yeah. Okay, so turn your home into a lifetime income. This is something that I think is on a lot of retirees' minds. But of course, we understand that there's more to it.
Correct.
You don't have to sell. It's just that you need to think about your future first. Yeah, and then see if your house can help you with your future. Yeah, you want a rainy day fund also if you're retired.
Actually, we are quite fortunate, right, to have this as an option.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah. So very quickly, the LBS, the lease buyback scheme versus the silver housing bonus, what are the differences, right? So I would say that the LBS is more for seniors over the age of 65 who want to stay in their current flat. Okay, and then how it works is that you sell back part of your lease to HDB, and then you top up your CPF RA cash bonus up to 30K. Okay, silver housing bonus, in summary, suitable for seniors about 55 and above who want to move to a smaller flat. And then they want to sell your flat and buy a 3-room or smaller flat. Top up your CPF RA. Cash bonus also very similar, up to 40K in 2025. Yeah, so both of these schemes by the government is to use your housing equity to top up your CPF retirement account. They just want to make sure that you have
a comfortable retirement,
substantial funds, to retire. This is why they're coming out with all these schemes, because they want you to retire comfortably, right? So then this new, once you have a larger retirement account balance, you join the CPF Life, as mentioned, then you have a lifelong monthly payout. Yeah. So they just want to ensure that everybody can live with dignity, like you mentioned. Yeah. Okay, so how much can you unlock? So this one we kind of went through already. So I'll just keep it very quickly. Avoiding some pitfalls, right? You don't want to underestimate the cost.
Correct.
If you have to move to a new house, maybe you move to a flat next time with like 30 years lease left, or even 40 years lease left. You look at the condition.
In agent terms, it's very original condition. That means the house upkeep, maintenance probably not as good. So we have to factor in probably the slight renovation cost involved also. Yeah, but I think mostly it's quite okay.
Yeah. So think about all these things, right? Also the accrued interest, as we mentioned, the CPF accrued interest. Okay, so from planning to moving, okay, very fast one. Yeah, so you have to first understand what you want, right? Your financial and your lifestyle goals, that's very important. Once you know what you want already, because nobody wants the same things.
Correct.
Yeah. Sometimes not everybody wants to make money and then, move out of the house and then feel very sad.
Yes. I think priority is that, you must think about your next few years, how you want to live it.
Correct, yeah. And then after that, of course, you get a valuation for your home, and then you check.
That's nice.
Yeah. But for this one, you also ultimately when you sell already, you still need a valuer to come down.
Yes.
And then they will have to see if there's any COV or whatever that's needed for your new buyer. Then you check CPF, explore, what other schemes that you can use, whether it's SHB or not, and then shortlist your new homes and then plan, right? So yeah, I mean, if you need a better roadmap, customized to you, let us know. Okay, so this is what you need, okay? A good property agent who understands your needs, you know, preferably somebody who has worked with seniors before, and understands all these policies, right? To be able to help you. So you don't miss out on any schemes or grants that you can enjoy.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Then you have the conveyancing lawyer. You know, this is a specialist who handles all your paperwork and stuff. And of course, if you have a financial advisor, that would be good because this person can help you to integrate with your retirement plans. Okay, so prepare your home for sale. Okay, let's just skim through very lightly. I mean, you might have lived in your home for like 30, 20 years, right? So it might look a certain way. So in order to sell it at a pretty good price, you know, or a desired price, you also need to tidy up.
Touch up a bit.
A bit lah.
Touch up.
Don't need to invest so much,
Yeah.
but just tidy up a bit. So yeah, easier to sell lah. Okay, we're going to jump right into the case studies now. There are 3 of them. So these are case studies that Kai has actually personally attended, right?
Yes.
So he had a client aged 72 who had bought a resale executive mansionette back in 1990. Yeah, at $135,000.
Super cheap, super cheap. But actually, you think about back then, probably they don't earn the income ratio also is a bit different.
I
But
suppose.
we look back now, right, at this amount, it's like what?
Yeah, that's insane.
That's the 2-room flexi
That's
price.
like the price of a car right now.
Yeah. Just the cert.
Yeah. And then now that his children have all moved out, he has decided to right size to a 3-room HDB flat near his
Right.
children. Right. So maybe you can talk a bit about Mr. Yong.
So actually, Mr. Yong, I met him through a referral. So after getting to understand his intention to move, right, it's because his current place is at Taman Jurong.
Okay.
Yeah, it's at Taman Jurong. He has lived there since very very long, right? 1990 man, until now 35 years. But then the eldest son has moved out already. Yeah, has moved out to Bukit Batok. So actually, he's looking to sell his place because as you age, right, some more is a executive maisonette. It's 2 stories, so it's a bit risky for elderlies also because of forest man. Then also it's too big to maintain. Yeah, the wife has to like tidy, like has to mop, have to clean the toilet, everything. So a bit too physically taxing on them. Even though it's fully paid already, maybe financially it's not, but then the lifestyle changes. Yeah, last time they wanted it because they wanted a big house for their kids,
Right.
Yeah, and it's still very nice. Executive maisonette are still very nice, but lifestyle changes. That's why they made the move.
So he right sized to a 3-room HDB flat and still near his children. So yeah,
Best of both worlds.
best of both worlds, right? So what happened is that he sold his maisonette at $818,000, and then he purchased a 3-room resale flat.
Correct.
With about 45 years lease left at $360K.
Yes.
Yeah, so of course he has cash proceeds. I mean, just do a simple math. Probably ultimately his cash proceeds after CPF will be about 200, maybe 200 over.
Yeah.
About that lah. Yeah, after CPF refunds, right? But of course the CPF is still your money. Yeah. So so he's able to live the best of both worlds. So a second one, okay. You had a client called Mrs. Lim, 58, and her husband, they lived in a 4-bedroom private condo at Hillview. So she wanted to cash out from her property to fund their retirement lifestyle. And also, one of the major things that she wanted to move is because the maintenance cost is very high and getting higher.
Getting higher.
Yeah, probably a very one of the older condos lah. Then after that, she moved to a 4-room HDB at Bedok to be nearer to her children who had just gotten a BTO flat in the same area.
Correct.
Yeah, so for her, quite good lah, because she sold her private condo.
Fantastic, actually.
Sold her private condo at $2.8 million. And then she bought a 4-room HDB resale at about $800K. Yeah, so of course, she has unlocked almost $2 million. Yeah, in cash and she still has intentions to fund her children's upgrading aspirations.
So actually, this is a very interesting case because the condo that they actually hold, right, is actually a freehold condominium. So a lot of people might think that if you own a freehold property, right, I want to keep it for legacy planning in the future.
Yeah.
But why in the future? Why not now? Actually, you can do so now, ma. That's where actually your kids need your help the most, right? Not when they are maybe like 40, 50, they're not going to upgrade anymore. Yeah, so actually, you have to time also when actually you want to choose to cash out. So doesn't mean you hold longer. Probably the valuation might go up. The cash proceed might be more, but then by the time you don't need it anymore. Yeah, so it's about timing also.
That's a very interesting point. Okay, the last case study, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you have dealt with divorcees. So Mr. Chua was a divorced man, so he's now single. He lives in a fully paid 5-room HDB in Simei, and the house felt too big for him because his wife lives overseas. Ex-wife, sorry, she mentioned. Okay, so he contemplated between renting out some rooms, because 5-room, right? So enough rooms to rent out or to downsize. But he's one of those who like...
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, the concept of it is very nice because fully paid up, you just earn the rental income, right? But then when actually we proceeded to find tenants for him.
Okay.
Yeah, but after I think 2-3 viewings, right? He feedback to me, Kai, I think just sell lah.
Okay.
I cannot get used to living with strangers in the house. Yeah.
You could probably try, if you want to try renting out, then just like,
Yeah.
you know, when the viewers come, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, do I feel like I'm with this stranger?
Envision yourself, living
Yes,
with
with these
strangers.
people, right? So yeah, so ultimately he sold his flat and moved to a 2-room flexi.
Yes.
So I would say that not bad lah. He sold his 5-room HDB in Simei for 628K. This is probably 2-3 years ago.
Last year.
Last year. Oh, last year. Okay. Then he bought a 2-room flexi flat from HDB. So that means that he bought it at
very low price.
Very low price.
Yeah.
So he received a cash proceeds of around 500K.
But okay, this one, right, is because his monthly mortgage he pay
fully paid up.
also. Yeah. Correct. So yeah, this one of the most cash proceeds I've seen.
Yeah. So yeah, if in a very similar scenario, then you can, you know, think about your next step also.
Correct.
Like that. Okay, so of course, if you're still interested to know how much your property is valued at, just scan the QR code. We're gonna get right into the questions. Yep. So of course, if you have more questions, maybe not now, you could scan first, and then you can book a free consultation. Okay, we have about almost 30 questions.
Wow, nice.
Let's try our best.
Okay.
9 p.m. sharp. Oh my God, we've finished the webinar in 1 hour. Okay, so William Yo, how accurate is the Property X Value 2 valuation? I showed my valuation to another agent from another agency, and he said it's too high and not realistic. Yeah, so I think this is really, it depends, right? So sometimes the valuation, the valuation gives you based on data. So that means the surrounding transactions, how much your neighbors have sold their property for. Hence, it's all based on facts.
Yes.
Yeah. So whether it's realistic or not realistic, I guess the market can determine that once you put your flat for sale. Yeah. So of course, market dynamics change.
Correct.
Yeah. So I mean, to be fair, we do see the HDB resale market stabilizing a bit now. So it really depends on supply and demand.
Also because, okay, personally for me, when I use the X value, right?
Yeah.
I find it very accurate. Actually, the difference probably 2,000 to 3,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, the disparity is not much. But I think why is this way, right? In by William, his question, right?
Yeah.
Probably is because might be due to micro factors, but probably okay, same 4th floor unit, 700,000, but maybe your facing is not as good. So probably they based on past transaction and data, they quote 700,000. But probably for the physical unit itself might not be that great. So the agent might feel that it's overquoting. But I feel personally, to me, it's quite accurate.
Correct. Yeah. So I mean, for me, it's because it's based on data. That is what factually it can be valued this way.
Yes.
But there are all other factors that you need to consider as well. Okay. Albert Young. My friend is 64 years old and he does not have any property.
Okay.
What property can he buy, and which bank can give him a good loan?
Probably cannot get bank loan already. Yeah, because you don't have the years to sustain the loan.
The mortgage. He has 100K CPF and little cash.
This case is a bit trickier. So if I think for him, probably he can try to apply for
community care.
Correct.
Yeah, community care.
If not, you can apply for two-room flexi also by the government. Yeah. So by B2 exercise, or sometimes they have like sales of balance exercise also. I think that's the best way forward.
Yeah. Okay, Christine Tan. I have applied a new HDB flat many years ago, sold and bought a condo. Can I buy a new BTO? Is it possible? What do I need to consider? Or should I buy a smaller condo which could be more comfortable?
Okay. So Christine, need to see how old you are now, because if you're above the age of 55, right, the wait out period is actually waived. Yeah. So you can sell your condo to apply. I think
the waiting time for BTO is about 30 months.
Yes, about.
Yeah.
So maybe look for the resale market is also an option.
Yeah.
So, but definitely no penalty, but depends on your age also. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to buy a smaller condo, have to see actually what's your goal in right sizing. Yeah. Is it to cash out and still maintain the condo lifestyle, or you're okay to move to a government housing
Yeah.
also? Yeah. So have to identify the intent behind the move.
I'm guessing she also needs to know what is the value of the condo that she is currently living in. So then you can calculate the cash proceeds that after you sell, whether you can afford a condo.
To assess your options lah. So you need to make a more informed, decision.
Okay, Elna. Okay. How does this right sizing refer to private property?
Not only private property. Yeah.
Every property, you can right size to a smaller private property or a smaller HDB flat.
Right.
Whichever is still right sizing. Okay, Jen Ho. Hi hosts. Situation here, I'm a single 56-year-old caretaker of 2 elderly parents. Current HDB, 4-room, fully paid up. How do I right size? I also prefer staying near Kallang.
Wow, Kallang prices a bit high.
Kallang prices high.
Yeah. So I wouldn't really term this as right sizing, probably just a change of estate. But you also have to see the Kallang property that you're aiming, right?
Yeah.
What's the price and what's the balance list also?
Yeah.
So I think for this 4-room fully paid, depends on your current location. You have to take into consideration your current unit selling price, and then what's your next step, the house that you're purchasing, right? Whether it's a step up or it's really right sizing.
Correct, yeah. Because you could be living in a current HDB, your location might be still very good. And then you're moving to Kallang, which is a very good location. So of course, it's kind of like premium prices to premium price, I feel.
Yeah.
So it really depends on your current HDB. Okay, Matt Chow. I was told that if I sell my house, government will take the profit and lock it into my CPF. How do I avoid that?
Oh, I think what Matt is actually referring to is, okay, if your first housing, right, you get a HDB loan.
Yeah.
HDB loan. Then you sell your house, and then you purchase a second HDB using HDB loan also.
Yep.
So if you take the second HDB loan, the 50% of your cash proceeds, right, from your sale of your first HDB will be used to pay for your second HDB. Because this is to exercise financial prudence so that you don't, over borrow or be too over reliant on HDB loan. Because HDB loan is actually to help HDB owners to, have a more interest affordable loan scheme.
Okay.
So the primary reason is that you sold your house already, definitely there will be some cash proceeds.
Yes.
So they want you to actually take lesser loan.
Okay.
Yeah, because you already got your money, ma. Yeah. So that's where they will feel that you lock into CPF. So
Don't take HDB loan.
it's a way you can go for a private loan also, because I think now in this interest rate environment, a lot of banks are actually providing homeowners with, especially HDB homeowners with 5 years lock-in period with very minimal interest incurred. So I think that's an option also. So if you use a bank loan on your second property, you actually get to keep all your full cash proceeds.
Right. Okay. So Miji Koi, for a midlife single who wants to plan their entire life's property journey in order to unlock as much value as possible, to retire ultimately, right, to a small 2-room nearer to retirement time. Is it really the wisest choice to buy as young and as big a flat as you can during working years, so that you can sell off for enough profit, right, to right size to a 2-room later on? Yeah. And is a 4-room or 5-room better for this purpose? After doing some high-level calculations, this strategy seems to minimize the cost you pay for housing over your whole lifetime, provided you rent out the spare rooms while living in the bigger flat during your working years, and are lucky enough to get a 2-room BTO at retirement. What happens to people who can't get a 2-room BTO?
Wow, so this is 3 questions in one. So, okay. So is it wiser choice to buy as young and as big? I think don't have to go extravagantly big, just within your means. Okay, because you nobody can forecast the future property market.
Yeah.
But we try to actually nobody can speculate how it will be, but we can try to forecast based on past data and then to see, make a less risky choice moving forward. So I think buy as young as you can because you have the earning capacity and you have still a very long runway before retirement. So as you age, probably your income also sort of increases with better experience also. So I think probably can go for a bigger unit. So 4-room or 5-room, wow, very tricky question. But if I were you, actually 4-room and 5-room, the price different, not too big nowadays.
Big. Depending on locations.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Also, you have to see what price you buy at. Yeah, so if you purchase directly from BTO, like HDB, you apply for BTO, let's say.
And I mean, if you are intending to rent out some rooms and you're very confident that you can rent out, you can also go for 5-room if you can afford it, right? And not really like, I mean, afford it as in like you can still have access, cash to do other stuff, right? So don't squeeze out all your cash to buy a bigger flat for the sake of it.
Correct.
Yeah, because we cannot speculate or know what's gonna happen next time. Yeah, so don't risk it. Just buy the house that you can best afford.
Yes.
As big as you can, and you can still afford other things. And then if you want to rent out rooms, you can rent out rooms if you have a 5-bedroom. Yeah, so I would say that it's quite comfortable if you want to rent out. Yeah. So what happens to people who can't get a 2-room BTO?
I think 2-room BTO generally from my past experience, right, actually for seniors who are looking to right size, right, they actually tend to put them in the priority list.
Okay.
Because that's the government's idea of helping you to right side and to cash out for retirement, to live a comfortable retirement. So I think, okay, in the event really can't get right, I think if can't go for 2-room BTO, probably, yeah, if 2-room resale expensive, I think okay.
It's okay. It really depends on the market condition then.
Correct.
Yeah, and how much volume there is also in terms of supply, I mean. Yeah.
Also location.
So yeah, I think Miji, you probably need an advisor, to really like look at your situation and be able to advise you based on what you have.
A bit complex but very valid.
Yes, correct. Okay, Ben Ng, what about private to HDB? Any incentives?
Just now we went through.
Yeah.
They give the.
For private to HDB,
if you are talking about like compared to HDB incentive, probably not as much, because you are coming from a better class asset to a more affordable one. So additional incentive probably.
You still get the silver housing bonus.
Yeah, I think that's
about it. Yeah, but if you were to downsize to a 3-room or lower so it has to be a certain kind of HDB flat.
Right.
Then you get incentives and also your age. Okay, William Wei, if I have bought a subsidized 5-room flat and downsizing to a BTO 3-room, do I get the 30K SHB?
Depends on your age, right?
Do I get the 30K? Yeah, I think they do get the.
Need to be. 50.
Let me just very quickly see. Yeah, so if so they bought a 5-room, okay, downsizing to a 3-room BTO. 3-room here, so 3-room you still get 30K, but you need to top up 60K. Yeah, so you just need to make sure that after you sell your 5-room flat, you have enough CPF housing refund of about 60K. Then you don't need to top up any cash. Then once you transfer the 60K into your RA, then you can get the 30K. Yeah. Gonna leave this here. Okay, Sam Tay, can retiree couple sell their condo and then apply for a new 3-room BTO, sale a balance flat immediately without waiting for 30 months?
Retiree, I assume is like 65 I mean like 55 and older.
No period for BTO, right?
No ma. Yeah.
Don't have, right?
For BTO, I know for resale.
I know resale don't have. For BTO, okay, let's check and come back to you, Sam.
Yes.
Yeah. For BTO, the waiting period of 30 months. Let me ask my colleague to quickly check the latest question. Yeah, maybe you can quickly check, just to fact check. Yeah. If they apply for a 3-room BTO from selling a private condo at a retirement age. Yeah. Okay, we're on it, Sam. Okay, Susanna Lim. I am 65. I plan to right size from my current 5-room flat to a 2-room flexi flat. Okay, I do not need to top up my RA as
Mm.
it has met the minimum sum. I have also fully refunded to CPF fully for money taken to buy my HDB flat. I have previously enjoyed 2 BTOs. Wow.
Wow. That means this is your third time getting a HDB.
Yeah.
Wow, third time
Not bad. Ah. Do I qualify for the SHB?
Wow, for third time
Okay.
have to check. But this is a very, very good
Yeah.
question.
Whether you qualify for the SHB, right? If you want to, theoretically, yes, because you are right sizing after all.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not wrong, the government does not even take into account whether or not you have enjoyed 2 BTOs before. The whole point of this SHB is that you are right sizing from a 5-room to a 2-room flexi flat. So technically speaking, you should qualify for the SHB. Yeah, but of course, with the government, they go by case basis. But I am quite sure that you are eligible lah. Yeah. So of course, go and check if you need to check. Yeah. Okay, Grace Kang. For those whose private property annual value is above 31K, do they still qualify for SHB?
I think no.
Yeah, you don't. It
But
is
not
to
very
be.
above 31K is quite.
Yeah, it's quite high, so I don't think you do. Yeah.
They changed for 21 to 31.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sorry, Grace. 没有.
Okay, Rash, what would be the best time to sell based on remaining lease years? Okay.
47, 4-room,
HDB.
79. Wow, still quite healthy. Yeah.
79 is a lot.
Wow. Best time in terms of price. Now,
Why you want to sell? So I
no,
think that's very important.
yeah, yeah, have to identify the intent. You're selling because you think it's time to right size to a smaller unit, or you feel that you want to upgrade.
Yeah.
I think best is quite subjective because depends on your current lifestyle also. But if you see, you are referring to the price, right? Right now, I think the price, we are still enjoying the effects from COVID. So I think probably you can check your valuation through the SRX,
Yeah.
the X value, and then you can see net off from the
What
amount that
you
you bought
bought.
at. Yeah.
Yeah. So of course, I think this is very important to know what is your next step.
Mm.
Yeah, you're selling for what? And then you can plan better. Because now the best time, I don't know where, maybe I can tell you, yeah, market, in terms of market, maybe the best time is now.
Yeah.
But then
But if you sell high and you also buy high, then
yeah, but then you're buying for what?
yeah.
Yeah. So all these things you need to think about. Okay, Nervis Alicia. For the SHB, when what they mean to top up the RA account, does that mean above the FRS or BRS?
I think it's just as long as you top up into your RA to supplement your current RA amount. Because by right, you should hit your BRS and FRS by the respective ages. So this is just a voluntary top up on your end. Yeah.
So yes, you can still get the cash. Okay, Grace. Can private property owners, seniors above 65, buy bigger resale HDB instead of BTO 2-room flexi? And do they still qualify for SHB?
没有.
Yeah, you won't qualify for SHB if it's anything above a 3-room flat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the whole point. Okay, I'm going to go to the slide, right? So over here, you can qualify if you right size to a 2-room. Oh, over here. Okay, sorry. First paragraph. You can get the bonus when you downsize to a 3-room or smaller flat. So anything above 3-room, you can't qualify.
We put Grace twice.
Grace. Okay, Brian Teo. If I were to own a Tiong Bahru flat with a remaining lease of 47 years and there's no buyers in the future, what are my options? Can I sell the lease back to HDB and apply to buy a 2-room flexi or 3-room flat?
Wow. Okay, I think for this one, if there's no bias in the future, right, then yeah, I think definitely a way is to sell back the remaining lease to HDB. But then you get the cash proceeds, probably then you apply for a BTO. Because you can't go into the resale market. If you go into the resale market, then might as well you just sell now, then you go into the resale market. Correct?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Vimala Subramani, will the deck be shared with this group? Okay, I'm so sorry, I'll not be sharing the deck.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Susanna Lim, am I allowed to sell my senior flexi 2-room unit? You can sell, right?
Oh, for this one, 2 room flexi on the market.
Community. Yeah, on the market. So that means she lives in one.
Ah,
Can sell, right?
yeah, I think
Only community care apartments cannot sell.
unless yours is with the amenities a bit
Too short.
too short. I think probably there are some restrictions. Probably you have to double check.
Yeah, depending on. And what's your next step also? You
Yeah
want to
lor.
sell. Okay. Miji, for people who have no choice but to buy a resale HDB now, given how high the prices are, when the market enters a cyclical dip, that value will be wiped out. And it might take another 8 to 9 years for the market to recover and reach current peak again, based on the historical trend of what happened in the last dip that started in 2013 Q3. Miji, you have really
Wow, very in-depth. I like.
you really
Yeah.
study the market.
Yes.
What is the best strategy to ride out this cycle? Buy as young a flat as you can now, even at record high prices?
Young flat generally easier to sell next time. But then with the current price, you have to see lah. Because I wouldn't want to speculate that, after 8 to 9 years, after the next peak, right, that it will outperform now. By theory, probably yes. But then there comes the thing of the Prime Plus and standard schemes, right? All these are actually government efforts to actually control the prices. So they don't want the prices to skyrocket to, up to 2 million one day for HDB flat. Yep, with all these cooling measures in place, is actually to control and to make a sustainable pricing environment for government housing, so that it's not to make a profit. But if you're talking about private property, then probably it's a different topic altogether. But HDB, I think many people tend to forget in these recent years that it's primarily for own stay.
Yes. That's the thing, right? So if you are asking for HDB, it's very hard for us to tell you what is the best kind of strategy, because it's meant to be for housing only. Because in terms of strategy, I'm assuming you're talking about investment returns and stuff like that, right? Because you want to sell at record high prices and
other assets better than HDB really is just for own stay. And the phenomenon we're experiencing now is really
I mean, like
because of COVID.
the graph that I've also shared earlier, it's like for HDB you can see that the graph is quite it's quite controlled. Yeah, right.
There's no
there's not
sudden spike or sudden dip.
Post-pandemic, then you see the huge spike. Yeah, so if you're talking about like if we were to return to years where it's quite stable, then probably you will not see this kind of increment. Yeah, but for for condos it's very different, right? So for condos there's still a pretty much sustained appreciation overall. This is just overall island-wide lah. Yeah, so we really need to assess based on what you have right now, and your age and everything. Okay, Rush, upon returning the CPF portion after selling my property, if I already meet the basic retirement sum, can I withdraw the additional amount?
That means you are upon returning that means assuming that you are already above 55, huh? Yeah. Then I think for 55 you have to hit BRS, probably. Then after that, but then you have to think you sell already, then your next property, you also need the amount to to pay for your next property also.
Okay, Christine, is there a minimum waiting time before one can buy HDB after selling private property? So then again, we need to see your age. If you're age 55 and above, there's no waiting time.
Correct.
Yeah, but if you're not, you are below the age of 55, then you have to wait 15 months to buy resale HDB. Okay. Susanna, do I need to pay a levy for purchasing my 2-room flexi BTO?
Resale levy applies to, that means you are currently already staying at a subsidized housing, and then you right size to a smaller subsidized housing. So you have to pay the resale levy. But then for this one, depends on your current asset class. Is it a 5-room flat, a 4-room flat, or a 3-room flat? So the resale levy is different.
Okay. William Yeo. Sorry, I can't share the slides. Yeah, I know it's thank you.
Oh, that means the slide very good.
I'm glad that's informative. Okay, Brian Teo. Can I get ABSD refund if I sell my private property and buy a resale HDB?
I think this was in one of the earlier slides.
You can. You can. Yes, you can. If I'm not wrong, you can. So I did mention it in my slides as well. Yeah. So I think there's some criteria you need to meet. I think within 6 months or something to sell lah. Okay, Ben Ung. Hi, for couples above 55 years of age living in a private apartment who wish to right size to a 4 or 5 room HDB flat, any government incentives from the government?
Perhaps.
No, because you have to right size to a 3 room
Yeah.
or lower or smaller, then you get the silver housing bonus. But if you are just right sizing to a 4 to 5 room HDB flat, you will not get any government incentive. That is not right sizing to them. In fact, you might be moving to an even bigger space. Okay. Xander Teo, just now you mentioned that on lease decay, on the 95 years ruling, in order to use full CPF OA for next purchase, you mentioned it's based on average age of the buyers, because I thought it's actually based on youngest buyer's age if it's a couple. Okay, yes. If it's a couple.
Oh yeah, if it's couple, then
yes, your youngest buyer's age plus the lease left
until 95.
Has to add total up to 95 years. Yeah, correct. Okay, Eric Chiang, we do not have children. What options are available if we do not wish to tie down money in property? Does it make sense to sell and rent? Oh, interesting. Okay.
If I have children, what options are available?
Yeah, so it's like, I don't want to tie down my money in property.
Okay.
So maybe I can just sell and rent.
Sell and rent means what?
That means they don't want to tie down their money in property. That means they don't want to keep their funds in any property.
Oh, okay. I think depends. Depends, because when you rent the property, right, you have to see whether a monthly mortgage makes more sense or the renting makes more sense, because it's still expenses from out of your own pocket. But one is that you are just staying there temporarily, as opposed to actually owning the asset itself. Yeah. So I think have to see what you ultimately want, like what's your strategy moving forward. Like you want to rent because, okay, you don't want to put money inside the property and lock it in, then you have to make better use of the extra liquid cash.
It really depends on what you intend to use with the cash.
Correct.
Because I do know people who don't believe in buying property. Very young people, and they're like, the stock market's better. So it really depends on your preference and what you're better in. Maybe people are not attuned to property, they're attuned to other forms of investments or whatever, right? So yeah, it's up to you. But yeah, like you mentioned,
it's like life insurance and term insurance, man. Like term insurance is like for this term of your life, which is like the lease, right?
Yeah.
Then for life insurance, like you own it and you can keep it for life. Yeah.
That's
So
interesting.
It's the same concept, just that if you are choosing term insurance, which is rental, right, then make sure the excess cash or the difference in cash, right, in the mortgage that you pay, which is like the premium that you pay, then you make better use out of it.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, Tammy Tan. At 55, if selling private property and buying resale HDB, do I need to wait 15 months? What about for BTO? Okay, so this is a very similar question. So at age 55, right? Okay, you don't need to wait 15 months. Okay. For BTO, do you need to wait 30 months? I think this was the question just now. You still need to wait, is it? Yes. Okay. So the answer is the only thing that the government is allowing is that for resale, you don't have to wait 15 months. But if you're applying for BTO, they have not taken away the waiting period. It's still 30 months without period. Okay. Brian Teo, if the minimum sum for RA is already met, do we still need to top up RA after selling?
Don't need, unless you want to get the silver housing grant.
Yeah. So like we mentioned, if you want to get silver housing bonus, you need to top up 60K.
Yes.
Yeah, that means the government wants you to put in the proceeds from the sale of your flat into your retirement account in CPF. That's the whole point of it.
Max you can top up is 60K, then you get the 30K. You top up beyond that. I mean, the payout is still kept at
It already be met, but then they want you to top up lah, so that in the case you live until like over 100, then they ensure that you have some money to fund yourself. Okay, Greg, yep. You mentioned that post-sale must return the CPF plus 2.5 accrued interest. But number one, a retiree would be over 55. So if RA achieved FRS already, then they can withdraw from OA account immediately, right? The CPF and accrued interest needs to be refunded to OA, isn't it?
The retiree will be so if RA achieve FRS, then they can withdraw from OA. Wow. To hit the FRS by
55. Oh, over 55. Okay. They achieve FRS, but they can withdraw from OA immediately. I guess.
the
Okay.
CPF.
Yes, the CPF accrued interest needs to be refunded to OA. But then
That means this
because
person CPF got a lot.
yeah, but because you're a retiree, right? So ultimately it goes back into your RA.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it becomes a
correct.
retirement account
The
already.
OA and SA becomes the RA.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's like no more OA technically speaking. Yeah. Yeah.
But interesting, but very seldom we have this kind of case, because that means this person's CPF per month is a lot. That means they pay using the CPF to pay off the monthly mortgage, right? They still got access for them to hit the FRS.
Maybe they
so
top
early.
up their own CPF.
Oh, probably.
It's possible. Okay, Edwin Chi, my spouse and I are above 65 years old, now living in an executive mansionette. We are not keen to rent out any rooms. What recommendations do you have for us?
Exactly like the case study just now, case study number 1. Yeah. So I think probably you can
What recommendation?
can apply for BTO 2-room. Can apply for BTO 2-room flexi, or you can sell your EM and then to right size to
A 3-room,
3-room.
4-room. Also not bad lah, because
Yeah.
EM very big.
Super big.
Yeah, so I think if they live in 2-room, maybe too small.
Yeah. Probably 3-room will be
Yeah.
quite comfortable.
Yeah,
Still quite
3-room is
comfortable.
still okay. So yeah, I mean, it really depends on, take a look at these different layouts, 4-room, 3-room, or even 2-room flexi. What you're comfortable with, go for that lah. Yeah. Okay, Cynthia Ang, I am a single, age 57, currently staying in a condo. Can you explain again on the refund of the ABSD?
Refund of the ABSD is if you purchase the 3-room.
Yeah. So basically, if you currently live in a private condo, right, you can still downsize. So for example, you can still downsize and then get a ABSD refund. Okay, so where is? Oh, sorry, I forgot where. But anyway, yeah, you can you can still refund. Okay, so basically, you live in a condo, okay, and then let's say you move to a smaller condo.
Lower value.
Yeah, lower value, right? Lower value means quantum value. So if your condo now is like worth 1 million, for example, then you downgrade to a condo that's worth maybe 700K, or is it even possible now? 800K, okay? Yeah, so you still get you can buy the house first, and then you sell your 1 million flat. Yeah, so then you get the refund of the ABSD.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, WK Cow. If sell condo before December 2025 and buy resale HDB after December 2025, I'm age 55 over, can I get SHB?
Sell a condo before.
Wait, before?
Oh,
okay.
asking about the 1st December.
December. I think can. But this one really I don't know. Because they say it's from 1st December, ma.
Yes.
Yeah. So we need to check whether it is, you must sell after 1st December or you sell before 1st December.
Also must see the option and exercise period of your condo also.
But what I know is, I think the government is quite nice. Yeah. You want to appeal, whatever. So, check if you can, but yeah. Thank you. Okay, we are going to answer the last question.
Okay.
Okay. And then because we're going way beyond the time. Okay, Kathy Ong, if partner A has bought a BTO and partner B is a first timer, all entitlements are staying as first timer?
No, half.
Yeah.
But this one.
Partner A has bought before.
That means partner A has already enjoyed the entitlements. I mean, I think you mean the benefit and grants lah. So partner B is a first timer, so the subsequent entitlements, right, like grants, right, will be half off because partner A already enjoyed once. So partner A is a second timer, so partner B is a first timer, so it will be half only.
Okay, got it. Did we answer Gen Z before?
Gen Z 没有。
Okay. Okay, we'll come back to your questions
Can.
via email because yeah, I think we need to end the
Still got
webinar already. We have quite a number, about 10 questions, I think. Okay, thank you so much, all of you, for staying through the entire 1.5 hours here with us. Okay, so really grateful for all your questions. So we will not miss your questions. We will still reply them and respond to you via email, probably with the help of Kai as well.
Sure.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Kai.
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sharing all your insights and answering all the questions. I think it's been really very helpful to me. I also learned a lot, doing this webinar. So thank you for staying with us and attending today's webinar. So we do have a next webinar in, I believe it's about 2 weeks, is it? 3 weeks. Yeah, hold on. 26th November is our next webinar.
3 weeks.
Yes, about 3 weeks. So what am I covering? I'm covering about lease decay. Okay.
Oh.
So if you are interested to learn more about how to protect your property from its price and plan for your next step, because the lease is decaying, you can attend this.
Very relatable to the current topic.
Yeah, relatable, I would
Part
say.
Part 2.
So if you have very unique situations, we have definitely seen some of them in the questions that you have asked. So you can scan to book a free consultation so that we can really sit with you and understand your situation.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much and have a good evening.
Good night.
Actually, good night.
Yeah.
Good evening. Okay.
Recording